there comes a moment in life when even those who believe begin to question everything. A moment when answers don't come, when silence feels louder than any voice, and even faith feels tested. And right there, a question rises with force. Do I really know God, or have I only heard about him? Because truly knowing changes everything. And today, the story of two men will make that impossible to ignore. If this kind of content strengthens your faith, subscribe to the channel, leave a comment, and like the video, because this helps this message reach more people. At the beginning of Christianity, when everything was persecution, fear, and uncertainty, there were men who didn't just believe. They lived what they believed with a level of intensity that is difficult to comprehend today. Among them was St. Philip and St. James the Less, two apostles who carried a mission that was not only difficult, but humanly impossible. Philip was one of the first to be called by Jesus. He didn't have time to overthink. He didn't have guarantees. He didn't have promises of safety. He simply heard a voice and chose to follow. That may sound simple, but it is not. Following without understanding requires a level of trust that most people avoid. Philip didn't have all the answers, but he had something stronger: willingness to trust. In one of the most powerful moments in the Gospel, Philip asks a question that reflects all of us. He looks at Jesus and says, "Lord, show us the Father, and that will be enough for us." This is not just a question. It is the cry of every human soul that wants certainty, that wants to see, that wants to touch what it believes in. And Jesus' answer is not just for Philip, it is for all of us. Whoever has seen me has seen the Father. This changes everything about faith. It is no longer about searching for God in distant places or waiting for extraordinary signs. God reveals himself in a direct, concrete, living way. Yet many still do not see. And this is where the tension of faith begins. Because seeing is not only about the eyes, it is about the heart. While Philip represents the one who seeks to understand, St. James the Less represents the one who remains firm. He does not appear as often as other apostles. He does not have long recorded speeches, but his life speaks louder than any words. He became the leader of the church in Jerusalem at one of the most dangerous times in Christian history. Leadership then did not mean status. It meant constant risk of death. James was known for discipline, constant prayer, and absolute faithfulness. He did not adjust the message to please others. He did not negotiate truth to avoid persecution. And that comes at a cost. Because living the truth confronts those who prefer comfortable illusions. The church faced internal conflicts, doubts, and external persecution, and yet it kept growing. This made no human sense. People were being expelled, imprisoned, killed, and still more believed. What sustained that? It was not strategy. It was not marketing. It was conviction. Philip carried the message beyond boundaries. He spoke to outsiders, to those considered unworthy by society. This brought criticism and rejection, but also transformation. Because when truth is proclaimed with courage, it reaches unexpected places. James held the foundation. He kept the faith strong where everything began. He guided, strengthened, and preserved. He was the root holding the tree while the winds of persecution tried to destroy it. But their story does not end in visible success. It ends in sacrifice. Both faced death because of what they believed. And this leads to an unavoidable question. Why would someone give their life for something if they were not absolutely certain it was true? That question confronts everyone who hears this story. Because believing when everything is fine is easy. Trusting when there is no risk is comfortable. But remaining when everything collapses, that reveals real faith. And maybe today you are in that place. A place where answers are unclear, where the path feels uncertain, where faith feels distant, and the question remains, do you trust even without understanding? Philip trusted before he understood. James remained, even under pressure. And both show that faith is not the absence of doubt. It is a decision in spite of it. Now the decision is yours. Continue searching for easy answers, or take a real step toward God, even without certainty. Because in the end, It is not about understanding everything, it is about trusting the one who does. If this message spoke to you, subscribe to the channel, comment, and like the video, because your decision can also help this message transform other lives.